To my most promising apprentice, the operation is well underway. As instructed, we have intensified efforts against the enemy's prized possession, Israel. Jerusalem is not just land. It is prophecy in motion, the ticking clock of our undoing. And if we are to stall his return, we must unravel the covenant itself. You are to study the tactics, fuel the flames of deception, distract the church, blind the nations, keep their eyes off the scroll and off the stone. You laughed at first, then you tried. Empires have fallen at your whisper, from Pharaoh's slaughter of the innocents, to Haman's gallows, to Hitler's gas. You stirred kings and crowds alike. You whispered into the Crusades. From Babylon to Babylon's daughters, you've schemed to erase the bloodline. Yet it still pulses. The old methods, fire, sword, decree, were messy, inefficient. So you evolved. Precision warfare, no longer against flesh, but against truth. You traded the sword for ideas, anti-Semitism, your vintage poison, rebottled for every age, cloaked in social justice, dressed in academic robes, echoed from pulpits long since emptied of spirit, and still they burden themselves with it. Still, they gather around it. Still, they conspire to divide it, as if they do not realize. They play into your claws.
Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about. And in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces.
You've stirred the surface. You've rekindled ancient hatreds, inflated the egos of kings, and ignited chants in the streets. On that front, adequate work, but adequate is not the standard. Let me remind you of who the real target is. The enemy, our adversary, declared that he stretched forth the heavens, laid the foundations of the earth, and formed the spirit of man. How annoyingly poetic. Our strategy has always been elegant. Make Israel the problem. Stir hatred. Fuel confusion. Bury truth beneath ideology. Let her be the stone that shatters unity. You've done some of this. I see your fingerprints in the protests, in the resolutions, in the slogans disguised as virtue. But I also see weakness, hesitation. You have not pressed hard enough to sever the root. Israel is not just geography. It is memory. It is covenant. The Messiah came through her. The scriptures were entrusted to her. And the final act, the one we dread most, will unfold in her land. If the root remains, the tree still stands. And if the tree stands, the scrolls still speak. The people still remember. The church might just awaken. You must do better. You must dig deeper. Poison the soil. Erase the bloodline, or drown it in compromise. If you can't divide the land, then divide the minds. Make Israel irrelevant. Make prophecy foolish. Make the church forget. Because if there is no Israel, there is no timeline, no Messiah, no return. You've done just enough to keep them entertained, but not enough to keep them enslaved. Look around you, apprentice. This generation walks willingly into the pit, and yet they still cling to something. That spark, that ancient echo, it's infuriating. The world is a mirror now, shattered, fragmented, and reflecting nothing but pride. He warned them, of course. The enemy always does. Left them a book, plain words, piercing truth, a map they could follow if they ever bothered to open it. Perilous times shall come. Proud, disobedient, unholy, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. And now, just look at them. You've made them comfortable in their delusion. Well done there, but comfort isn't enough. We want decay. Where's the fear? Where's the despair? They should be running from God, not casually debating his existence over coffee. Worse yet, some are waking up. You let the spark survive. I told you, despair is more effective than distraction. Noise cannot outlast conviction. You gave them noise, and now conviction is starting to speak louder. You were tasked with eliminating resistance. You've merely numbed it. Remember, if they remember who they are, they'll remember who he is. Correct your trajectory. Stop chasing shadows. Bury the light, or I will find someone else who can.
But not all is lost. Not for those who still hear. Not for those who remember what was written. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and heal their land.